I'm so excited. I think we thought things were going to go a little differently, if I'm not mistaken. We just had the digital press conference per the White House. And yeah, I think we were all expecting just a little bit more activity. I actually laughed because one of my friends, Aubrey Strobel, posted that that could have been an email, which I totally agree. I felt like we kind of reiterated everything that was already kind of known in terms of who was involved with the committee, what's been going on with the committee, and all of that. So I really don't feel like we learned anything new just now, you guys. I don't feel like the sentiment on the timeline is kind of very positive about how that went as well. Now, not to say that nothing positive is going to come of that, because I do think that there is positive stuff and there are things in the framework here. Hello, let me give a shout out to my chat here because everybody is just already rocking. We have DJ and Brian, we have Mike, we have Blocky. Let's see who else. Held NFT, Proman. Oh my gosh. Oh, Poman. Hi. And then let me keep going. I have Jacob. Jacob, how are you doing? Thank you all for being here, you guys. Shout out to you. So yeah, everybody is buzzing right now. I think everybody expected a lot with that conference, and we didn't really get a whole lot. However, they did lay out the framework that we will have about 100 days for the first bill to be presented. So it sounds like we are going to be making some positive headway. So, but 100 days, if we look at the calendar, that'll put us into May. So that's the start of summer. So, hello. Julie does go into the other chats. I like to make the rounds. I have friends that are crypto that are on here on YouTube, and I like to go support and say good morning and see what other people are talking about. And you know, I want to get to where I'm doing it, where I'm sharing my screen. I have the charts, and I think I might set that up this week and actually try some of those. I was doing the vertical live stream because it seemed like this was being pushed out more through the YouTube algorithm, and it's not really getting that so much for me anymore. I used to have a rush of people in here at about the 5-minute mark, and I don't seem to get that anymore. It's just kind of the people who are already there. So, Jacob says I have cooler peeps. It's a lot of the same people, but I love everybody here just the same. So, market reaction from what happened just now. We have had a bit of a pullback, and now, as you guys know, this morning we kind of had bottomed out on news that there was going to be a 10% tariff coming from China on our oil imports. So whatever was coming from us to China was going to start having a 10% tariff whacked on it from China, and so the markets reacted negatively to that. We started to recover on news that there was going to be this this security briefing, not security briefing, but this news briefing from the White House, and that was basically not a whole. It was a whole lot of nothingness. So with that, they gave us like a 100 days outlook, and so now the markets are starting to retrace. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. This morning when I woke up, I actually opened a poll asking what people thought was going to happen with the Bitcoin price and whether it was going to go lower, because as I had said in the post, we have been having lower highs and lower lows. So our highs had topped out just before the inauguration, and after the inauguration we have had lower highs and lower lows. So we've been in an actual downward trend since then. So the potential for us to continue going down and choppy is there. And I think everybody was thinking that we were going to kind of get out of this choppiness, but now that we kind of have a framework of what this headway is looking like, we could be looking at May. We could have choppiness until May. So that gives us a few more months to kind of position ourselves and make a plan of attack. But I do think there's going to continue to be positive things coming out in terms of what's going on. So I think as these bills get laid out and the framework gets put together, we're going to get some more positive news trickling out about that. So something else too is that as these bills are presented, we're going to have news trickling out. So and it's going to be just like different bills that are passed, I think, at a time. I don't think they're going to bundle it all. I think they're going to really try and break it out. But then something else that was super interesting on the press conference that I wanted to point out is the fact that they had the agriculture commissioner there, and that they were trying to view crypto essentially as a commodity instead of a security. And so then that helps get SEC's hands out of it, and gives us like a way to kind of build a framework around the commodities side and to be able to kind of get things pushed through without so much headache. So, but what I did like to hear is that they are really wanting to open the door for companies to be able to come back and do business inside the US. And so with that also, there was a headline out today about the SEC evaluating retroactive relief for past coin offerings. So people who have been here and doing business, this essentially is going to give them some safeguards and a safety net to be able to know that nothing's going to come back, that's been like essentially looming over them. And I think I read in one part of this that some of the initial cases and things like that were just going to essentially be like let go or whatever. So it's a lot of positive things overall, although I think what people were hoping for was that there was going to be a statement on like crypto and which coins were going to be purchased and what was going to happen in terms of the strategic reserve and being able to start to stockpile some of that. But instead, it sounds like this is more regulatory framework for companies looking to operate and do business. So, which is good. We need to be able to know that companies can do business here and they're not going to get in trouble. And then that does just open up so much more. And so then something else that was interesting, I did not keep that article pulled up though, is that FTX is going to start repaying some of their payments out of their Bahamas branch. So the FTX payments are starting. It's come full circle from the peak of the last bull run, you guys. They were the ones that went down, and FTX sort of like led the way of the end of the last bull run. And so now going into the next bull run, it's FTX making payments back. So anyway, we've come full circle with that. So markets today, we peaked out. Bitcoin touched 100K and just a shy of 101K, and then it has retraced. It is now back at 98,100. So we are well below 100,000 and could potentially continue to go lower. It is not oversold at the moment. So we did peak out. And if you look at this and you compare it to what we look like from the 19th, this 100K top is essentially the new low high. So it stays in line if you continue to look at it. So I'm not as good at charting as I would like to be, but I'm sure we've got some downward wedge pattern that we are hopefully going to snap right out of and take us to a whole new level. But with Bitcoin was holding strong around 100,000. All of the other altcoins and everything else stayed low. They did not recover the same way Bitcoin did. Ethereum in particular, we're looking at 27,000, you guys. We've lost almost $1,000 per Ethereum just from over a week ago. Like, this is crazy. It's like 700 less. ADA, we're currently sitting at 74 cents. Dogecoin is at 26 cents. Solana is at 205. Solana did have a bit of a bottom out, but it did retrace. It was holding really strong at 205. But now we're starting to have some retracement there as well. So, and the week is still early. It is only Tuesday, you guys. So who knows what is going to be coming out next. So I'm going to pull up my Pepe. You guys, this one has dipped back down below and is almost back into what I consider buy category. When it dipped into this level before, just a little lower than this was where I was like triggered to buy. And I triggered to buy twice just in the last week. And so, again, if there's any chance that we're starting to lose any more stability and things like that in the market, if Bitcoin continues to lose some of its dominance here, then I think we could go lower, which would be just crazy. It would be absolutely crazy. So I think I'm going to hold off on doing any more buys at the moment. So even though Pepe is looking like it's a buy, I just don't know. I don't really see anything too positive coming out at the moment in crypto. So, but we don't know exactly where we're at in terms of where these bills are and what they have done in terms of like laying out the framework for them. They could just be in different stages. And when you hear them talk at the press conference, they have been working on this for like 2 years. So this has actually been something that's been in the works. And these people have all been kind of working together to try and establish these bills. So it's not like they're doing it all from scratch. It's something that they have been working on. So what else was I going to say about the press conference? It was in my brain and now it's gone. It has left me. How is everybody else today? It's 1 o'clock here, you guys, and it feels like springtime. Like all of the trees are like blooming, and I came back with a tan, which is nice. So yeah, I'm starting to feel a little like I'm ready for summertime. And it's just weird because I felt like I had no winter really. And I haven't like touched snow in like almost 2 years, which is crazy to me because I was getting back into snowboarding, and yeah, for one, I took a long break from snowboarding, and I'm from California, so I'm just north of Los Angeles. So where I'm at, I'm close to the beach, I'm close to the mountains. I can do either. And yeah, so when I moved to Australia, I sold all of my snowboarding equipment. And I was like, well, it's Australia. There's no mountains and snow there. And so I sold all of my equipment and I moved there. And as soon as I moved to Sydney, I found out there was actually a ski resort and people snowboard just outside of Sydney. So I'm like, oh, I could have kept all my equipment. So then I was bummed I sold it. So when I moved back to the States, I was like, I'm going to get a new snowboard and I'm going to get back into it because I've always loved snowboarding. And the new board I have, it's just a little on the big side for me. And yeah, I don't know if it's like I'm not as agile as I used to be, or I'm kind of chicken when I start flying down the mountain. But I find that I end up like riding on my edges a lot. And, I try, I try to have fun. I'm more into hiking now though. That's like my jam. I love to go find like a nice trail and go hike and look for like a waterfall or a cave or a good lookout or something like that. Anyway, okay, I'm done. I went on a tangent there. So in talking about the market, there was an article that came out about XRP with some bearish divergence, which raises the chance of a $2 retest. I don't know if we are going to continue to go lower here on XRP, or if there is going to be, it's performed extremely, extremely well. They've had a good run considering, and they've had some really good news coming out. So things are looking up for the XRP community. And I also feel that they are going to be included on some of the bills and legislation coming out, potentially with the reserves or potentially being utilized in some other fashion. So its all-time high range was around 340. So this is one to watch because if it does fall and retest the $2 range, like it would be a good time to enter. XRP was one that I should have got in on and I missed it. But seeing everything that's coming out about it, I'm actually a lot more bullish on it. I feel like the last market or the last bull run was one that people were all telling me, oh, XRP. And I found lots of stuff on it in terms of like merchandise, and the community was strong and people were really diehard about it. And so I just never got into it because it just didn't really do much at the time. So anyway, they all held very strong within that community. And, you know, I would love to see them get some inclusion on legislation. So they're one that I am watching, because as soon as it goes down and as it retests, it's definitely going to bounce off this line. So if you are bullish on XRP, let me know. There's actually another topic I've started looking into for you guys, because I don't know much about it. And a lot of times, if the news is slow, then it might be a story that I'm working on for there. But I think I want to cover some stuff on Richard Heart, because I've known about Richard Heart. He's such a character in the space. He's had a lot of stuff go on, a lot of negative news. And so anyway, I just started to look into it. I have a friend who is very bullish on Pulse Chain. And so I'll get messages every once in a while of, you need to look into this, you need to look into this. And so I've never done a deep dive into Pulse Chain, although I'm familiar with it and I'm familiar with Richard Heart. I think I'm going to actually do a deep dive into that topic, just because I really feel like it would be a fun story for me to dive into with you guys. That guy is an absolute nut job. And if I'm not mistaken, there was something that came out about like a sexual assault allegation against him. But yeah, it's not like right now, I believe he's like internationally evading taxes. I can't remember which European country he's living in. But anyway, he's just a character. And so if you are a Pulse Chain, or if you know anything about Richard Heart, ping me, let me know in the DMs. And yeah, I would love to kind of maybe dive into that little story there, because it is super fascinating to me. So let's see here. So just one more topic I have for today. So you guys, I am going to plug for you guys again. I don't have it with me, but it is downstairs. My friend had sent me some stuff in the mail, and when I opened it, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like workout stuff at first, but it's actually supposed to be gaming, and like if you're an active trader, it's supposed to like help you with focus, clarity, like locking in. I haven't actually tried the medication. I calling it medication. I don't ever take vitamins, supplements, medications, or anything like that. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to pull that up again and talk about it with you guys all probably on this next one. So anyway, that is all I have for today. The markets are looking a little weak, so I will continue to watch this. We might potentially have some more positive news coming out, but at this point, I'm just kind of watching things, because I don't know. We keep having lots of shakeouts, and then, yeah, I don't know if we continue to have trade tariff wars go on. Yeah, things could get a little interesting. But now, thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a